What's up, guys? Welcome back again to Heavy Metal Football. This is Avi, and it's been a while since we all met. But after last season, I thought let's just take a break away from all this and come back with a fresh start on this season. Uh, a bit more positive. It was like that after the Arsenal game, but here we are uh, back to old ways. We're going to talk about Fulham versus Manchester United 1-1. Uh, to really talk about the game, I think we were really good in the first 20-25 minutes. Some of our passing was really slick. The way we moved the ball to the forwards was quite good. We closed off all the spaces when Fulham attacked, and it was overall quite good. But then I don't know what happened. We just slowly started uh, grabbing hold of the game. I mean, we just started to let loose, and Fulham just started holding the ball more and dictating games. And I think if I have to talk about the positives, I really love our attack, right? Embuemo and Cunha, these guys are superb. Cunha is just so unpredictable, and he's got this sort of an X factor in a player that we've been lacking for a long time. And Embuemo, man, ball just sticks to his feet. The way he controls the ball and moves it is really, really good. And I thought after last game, we were going to be better, especially considering it was just Fulham, and we did really well against Arsenal. But damn, how wrong was I? And I keep telling you guys, and I've been saying this for a long time. Bruno has been bad for the last 2 years, right? And I do not know how the media doesn't see it and how most of the fans do not see it. Um, he's just too wasteful, and I think uh, I would I would not want to say that we just drew the game because of him missing the penalty. I mean, penalties can be missed, and if we want to be a team that is going to feel bad for one missed penalty and hold that responsible for winning or losing, drawing or losing a game, I don't think we are in a good state. And that's exactly what happened. So my criticism for Bruno is beyond that missed penalty. I think his attitude was really poor. His passing was really bad. Um, just as always, complicating stuff. There was a moment you might have all seen. He's spending too much time on telling players what to do when he's on the ball, and he's just being tracked back by a Fulham player and being dispossessed. And again, that is not a mark of a really good captain. And for me personally, I want my captains to be the most composed guys on the field, right? And people say he's got a good attitude. Well, I really, really beg to differ. I mean, he's got tenacity and he's got a fire around him, in him, but I think that is a lot different from what you would call an attitude. To explain it better, attitude is when you keep doing the simple things right almost every single time, even if you do not execute it well, irrespective of what the situation of the game is. Just keep doing the simple things right and always be there, right? Be there in the moment. And Bruno seems to blow hot and cold, and it's now starting to affect uh, the team. It's the same that happened against Arsenal too. I think he had a bad game, and again against Fulham, he had a really really bad game. And I thought after the second half we will get better, and again I was really really wrong. So I would want to say that the balance of the team is really, really bad, and I think I would hold Amorim responsible for that. We have too many number 10s playing in a team and they're not being rotated as well. Like Cunha, can call him a number 10, and Mbeumo is again a number 10. Ahmad uh, is again an attack-minded player playing at wing back, which is fine, but then you have to have other players uh, to facilitate that. And Mount is again a number 10. Bruno is again a number 10. And the only proper midfielder that we have is Casemiro, who had a really, really good game against Arsenal, who I think was really good against Fulham too. And yet he's the one being subbed out. And I really wonder how. Even after, if you guys had looked at the Arsenal game, I think after he left the pitch, we were quite bad. We couldn't move the ball well, right? And it is so baffling to me how most of the guys on media and even a lot of the YouTube channels, like, I feel bad to do this, but I was just checking out the United stand and some of the guys criticizing Casemiro for no fault of his, right? I think he was really good on the ball. If and apart from what he does on the ball, I think off the ball he is just a fantastic, fantastic player, and people do not see it. People always say that he can't run, blah blah blah, but the way he made himself uh, present and in certain situations, in certain spaces where Fulham couldn't attack, it is so unspoken. And the moment he left, I just think that uh, Fulham got complete control of the game. And what happens when a player like that leaves? You already have a 10 in Bruno who has the habit of losing the ball and doesn't move the ball as well as he had. He just complicates the game a lot. Now you have Mount who's partnering him, who are both uh, they want to go forward. Although I feel like Mount is a little more aware of his surroundings than Bruno, and too many attack-minded players in a pitch where you have to hold the ball. And again, he brings in Ugarte. So now here's where my problem is, right? So we somehow nicked in a goal, and we're chasing the game, right? And the manager chooses to bring in Ugarte and Dalo and Maguire when you're chasing a game and you have to score a goal, and that is in place of a player who was actually good. Now, I heard him say in his post-match press conference that after scoring, we did not do the simple things right. That is keeping the ball, moving it. And why do you think we're not able to do that? It is because we've brought in players who are not naturally good at holding the ball for players who are good at holding the ball. Now, what could have been a good sub was to have uh, maybe Ahmad still on the pitch, who's good at holding the ball, have Casemiro on the pitch, who's much better at holding the ball and much better in closing spaces, while we have the ball and move the ball well, and the opponent tries to counter. And this is a weakness. Now, who does he bring in? He brings in Ugarte, who is again really bad at moving the ball. His touch is quite poor. Uh, he's just bad, and I don't know how people call him a defensive midfielder. I mean, things are so mistaken these days in football, right? It's like if a player uh, has tenacity in his running and puts in a few hard tackles, they call him a defensive midfielder. No, uh, it's the absolute opposite. Your defensive midfielder or a holding midfielder is the one who's most intelligent on the pitch, especially when it comes to reading the game, being defensive and reading the dangers of when an opponent is going to attack. And Casemiro is the guy who does that, and he knows when and where to be that when you are an opponent, you look to attack to certain in certain spaces uh, where it's more is the most effective to score a goal. But Casemiro is the guy who will put himself in such spaces that if you're an attacker, you're going to look on the other side or beside you rather than in front of you. And people do not see this quality in him. Uh, uh, and what does Ugarte do? He gets uh, drifted to wider spaces way too soon. Like the moment the opponent is attacking to a side, I don't know why he's the one going and trying to press, and that leaves a gap uh, in midfield that is so hard to defend. And then what happens is, if that is done, you need your other midfielders to support it, and we all know Bruno doesn't do that. It's just not in him. Now, I heard again, like guys from the United stand say that, oh, he's not a midfielder naturally, so he's going to have bad games. No, it doesn't have to be like that. All you need to have is just a general awareness in space and time on a football pitch. And if you do not have that, it naturally means that you're not a great footballer. Like he has lots of good qualities in him, but that doesn't mean he is like an elite level footballer, like how the media says, because of his stats. And most of our United fans who keep saying that, wow, he scored so many goals, blah blah blah. Football doesn't work like that. Football is really, really simple. You keep doing the simple things right, pass the ball, move around as a team. I think someone will end up scoring goals. It doesn't have to be him. It doesn't have to be your center forward. Someone will keep scoring goals because we will create chances. We will create problems to opponents, and we'll be so hard to defend. It doesn't happen. Uh, I mean, you can't defend a player saying that it is not his natural position. When a player is having the ball, he has time, he has space, yet he chooses to hoof the ball and lose possession, and the opponent attacks, and he is the one who's out of position. And you do not want your center midfield player or your number 10, if he's playing at number 10, to do stuff like these. So now his positional uh, awareness is really bad, and his positional discipline is even bad. Like even when he plays at 10, he doesn't stick to proper positions. He moves into center midfield and takes spaces of other players, right? So I felt it was really bad. And I think the best thing for us to do is either have Mount or Bruno, because having both of them in the same team is bad. And I think Mount is playing quite well. He does the simple things right, and he was so helpful in us moving the ball forward uh, against Fulham and against Arsenal. So I think it is much wiser to start him. And maybe Kobe. I think the guy deserves a chance, man. And guys like Xerxes, like yesterday, when Mount was taken off, we could have brought in Xerxes. The guy is so good at moving the ball. I think yesterday's game deserved a player like him. I think, again, I feel like uh, if we have a forward line of Xerxes, Cunha, and Embuemo, I think we will be so hard to beat. And if we have a three-man midfield with Casemiro just sitting deep and two other players, maybe Ugarte and maybe Kobe, or maybe Bruno being rotated, I think that would be our best system. And last season after the Spurs game, I kept telling you guys that Amorim is under pressure. Uh, if he starts the season poorly, he's under so much pressure, and now I think he's put himself there with his choices in the starting lineups and the substitutions. You know, the thing that they say about insanity, it's when you keep doing the same mistakes again and expect a different result. And that is exactly what Eric Ten Hag did, and that is exactly what Amorim is doing. So, finally, to sum this up, uh, I really don't see him surviving this. It's not to be negative and uh, fall into some bandwagon who say Amorim out, give him time and all that. See, I'm okay to give a manager a time if he's trying to do the right things. And I think uh, Amorim is just complicating things as much as possible, all in the name of uh, principles and his own methodology. It doesn't work. I am a guy who likes to keep football really simple. Play your most balanced team in attack, midfield, and defense. I think they will, and if they have quality, they will get you the results naturally. Now, we have so much quality in our attack, our defense. Maybe the only place that we are lacking in is midfield, but I think most of the guys are just blowing up the midfield problem way too much than it actually is. I think the problem is just not starting the right players in the right positions and starting the players who can naturally complement each other. So most teams in the Premier League will be dying to have a player like Casemiro or Kobe Mino or say Embuemo, etc. I mean, we have a team that I feel is really, really on. This is me having high expectations, right? I think that this team is uh, good enough to finish top four. Okay, so taking the high expectations off, I think this team is really. This is definitely a 4 to maybe 7 team after what considering what we have done last season, right? This team has the quality to finish top anywhere between top four to top seven. And I think this guy, I think Ruben Amorim is just complicating this whole uh, thing rather than keeping things much simple. So that is it, guys. I think the next 3 games are like so important. I think we need to win, and for that he needs to pick his best players, players that were good last season, and to that adding players. So with yesterday's game, I haven't singled out any player in uh, that is including Bruno, right? I haven't like singled him out, although I have given him some criticism. But this is not just about last game; it's just overall. And the reason I haven't criticized any single player is because I think uh, we had a really really bad system, and he made the wrong calls in substitutions, which I think, for example, the way Spurs played against City and the changes that they made, it was just so perfect. And I really feel like Thomas Frank is such an underrated manager. So I think we'll meet again for another video for the next game, and in between, I'll be talking about the Liverpool game and the City versus Spurs game. Uh, add your comments, guys. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's meet again. Bye bye.